Right. Maybe he has to take and go back to f1 and just play bishop d3 and just hope. I don't see another move. 26 seconds, Jeffrey Jean.
Yeah. But now psychologically, it's very tough. And down to 20, yeah, 16, 15. Yeah, takes. Look f1, yeah, nothing else to be done. So the good thing for white is that by now he understands that actually he first wants to consolidate, so he doesn't mind draw anymore. And once you have clarified it for yourself, it's much easier to make your decisions, yeah?
Bishop e3, very good. Rook c3, queen a6.
Queen a6. Is there some knight? Because bishop f5 is checked.
It was check, exactly.
Yeah, that's...
This was clever by Jeffrey.
That's very important. Yeah, now it's black time to think, yeah? He has many options and it feels like black should be fine. Wow, he blundered.
Wow, look at this
blundered.
blunder. What on earth is this?
Incredible.
What?
Incredible, because I thought that if he plays a tempo knight c5, it means that he can blunder it. But once he was taking his time, I understood that, he spotted that bishop f5 is a check. And then it comes. This is incredible. But then maybe we can jump to another game.
Yeah, let's go to Anton. He's playing against Mamedyarov, and it looks as though Anton is quite a bit better. Yeah, and you would guess, or maybe not. Maybe it's just...
No, not better at all. No. This pawn center is a little bit loose.
But he can't be that much worse, surely.
No. I think it's just equal.
Okay.
I think it's just equal, but equal probably also doesn't mean anything because with this time situation, black's position is slightly more preferable. I mean, it's easier for black. The d5 pawn is a target. He can go bishop e4, bishop h5. Yeah, if now he can take on e2, this is gratis.
This is gratis, yeah.
This is gratis. I mean, this queen and knight is such a combo. Very dangerous in Blitz to defend. Even in a classical game, I would say that this is difficult, but I mean, in a Blitz game.
And now Shaq thinking of a way to... Wow, he plays h5, so this is very interesting.
But now he will take, yeah, h5.
And then...
I know, he goes g4. I don't like this.
What is this move?
Terrible blunder.
How can you play g4 and give away the f4 square? Not to mention...
Panic. It was pure panic.
How can you play g4, David? This is unacceptable.
Queen d6.
And
yeah.
that's it. This is an unacceptable blunder. An absolute shocker from El Nino Anton. This here, I mean, we'll just go back to this position. G4 is just, it's so anti-positional as well to give away the dark square here. You never want to play g4 in any case.
Yeah, but the problem with this position is that when you have like 2 seconds per move and you only have like 10 seconds altogether, then to defend this position is just where, of course, you don't have to blunder and you can try to sit tight, but black's moves are so easy. That's why I felt like maybe white has to take on h5 and go for this position. I wonder what would have Shakriya chose. Probably go for the queen endgame after knight takes h5, queen h5, queen d5 check, and claim that his b pawn gives him some chances. But okay, this was shocking. Yeah, I mean g4 just a terrible blunder, because even not only if he takes the pawn, yeah, knight takes d5 was winning the pawn immediately, but black had also all the chances to maneuver his knight to the f4 square, which would have also probably won the game slowly.
Yeah, very disappointing. And David Anton, you know, good friend of mine, known him for a long time, obviously an extremely talented player, but he's just not able to keep up with these guys at the moment. On 2.5 out of 9, he'll be very disappointed with that. 2 losses in a row for David Anton. He needs to find some magic to make a comeback here in this tournament, and he needs to find some form. We have got Grischuk, Le Guin, Boo, Svidler, and the game of the round. the leader and the second place player, Magnus Carlsen, playing Daniel Dubov with the black pieces. I cannot wait for that game.
Yeah, I perfectly agree.
Excellent stuff. Now, they should be kicking off. Yeah, we might actually have 5 minutes because these games finished relatively quickly. Again, Peter, they were, even though they were quite long in moves. Well, this Jeffrey Jean Korobov, I mean, this blunder here is, I mean, this is an accept. I mean, this is well, it happens to everybody, as we've seen.
Yeah.
Blunder things. It's Blitz.
But it's a very unfortunate blunder, of course. Yeah, it hurts so much.
Yeah.
Because exactly at the moment when Anton was already thinking that, okay, he has everything under control, probably draw is the most likely result, but he's not risking anything. He has way too much activity. And then the blunder comes, yeah, changes the game immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's that roller coaster, isn't it, Peter? That it's almost a yo-yo of emotions in Blitz, where you're worse, you're struggling, then you're winning, and then you blunder, and then all of these ups and downs. You need a strong composition to be a Blitz player. Actually, it's a bit different to classical in that sense, because obviously, especially at top level, the blunders aren't as monumental, right? You can somehow weather the storm playing classical, but in Blitz, you need you need good nerves for Blitz. Actually, you need amazing nerves.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. But also the question is, I feel like there are much more blunders because we are playing online. I mean, I'm pretty sure that, yes, I know in the World Blitz there are also blunders, everything, but much less. Simply the point is that still it's different, and they are not your pieces. So I feel like because they are not your pieces, it's easier to blunder them. Yeah? This is a little bit the psychology behind how I'm trying to explain this, that there are way too many shocking blunders compared to the normal Blitz tournaments over the board.
That's interesting that you've seen that. Yeah, I tend to agree, actually. I tend to agree. It's far more rare when we see the broadcast, for example, of the World Blitz Championships. Of course, we see blunders, but not quite like this somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a different visualization and so on. I'm pretty sure that especially for the younger generation, this is much more natural. But I know from myself that, and also the other explanation, I feel that why there are way too many draws compared to the over-the-board Blitz as well, because it's online, and somehow the players are in more cheerful atmosphere. Can I put it this way? I don't know how to put it.
Yeah.
I somehow have this feeling over the board everybody is extremely serious and you don't want to give your opponent any kind of chances, but okay, after all, it's a screen. It's not they are not your pieces.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Okay. Waiting.
So the games are about to start, right?
About to start. 1 minute or so, or 30 seconds, we'll get them up. And of course, we're going to stick with this board here. Dubov Carlsen. Huge game. How is Dubov going to play against Magnus? He's going to play one of his tricky... See, but we just don't know. Of course, they can play.
Yeah, I do recall that in St. Petersburg World Rapid Championship, right after the Magnus match, it was very interesting for me to see this game. And I think it was the first game of the day. And Dubov played normal classical with d4, and Magnus was the one who was doing some kind of stonewall Slav setup. So very interesting to see what will happen. And now it's knight f3, knight f6, c4.
Okay.
So this is something new.
This is something extremely new.
Wow, Magnus playing King's Indian. I haven't seen him do that for quite some time.
And look at this, bishop e3, bishop g4, bishop e2. Dubov saying the systems with bishop g4 are so unimpressive. Hold on, wait, did he mouse slip with bishop d3? Or did he invite bishop g4?
No, he invited bishop g4, yeah.
Yeah, he invited it because this system here, knight fd7, bishop e3, is very well known. And now black, and the problem with this system for black is that it's very difficult to actually challenge this white center. There isn't the dynamism that you get in some of the other King's Indian lines. So maybe this is a genius bit of idea that the position is so good for white that you can even afford to lose a tempo on this main line. And now he's going to go knight g1, yeah? Or knight d2, one of the two, very well known.
Yeah, knight d2, yeah.
f5, and he's going to go f3, I guess. I don't see another move here. f4 being a threat.
Yeah, it seems like white got a nice version, yeah?
Absolutely. This is genius by Dubov, tricking Magnus somehow into playing this line. Okay, knight a c6. I guess he's going to... Well, now the question is, where do we put the king? Do we want to go long here? I guess he does. Here we go.
Yeah, he goes long.
He goes long. He goes long.
And then he's going to go now king b1 probably. Yeah, king b1. Black's problem is that, yeah, everything seems more or less fine, but long terms, where is your play?
a4.
But the same applies for white because,
right.
Okay, everything is beautiful. Yeah, black pawn has to be stopped on a4. Also, white has a nice square for the king on a2. Look f7. I mean, yeah, look at this. E takes f5 and white wants to go for g4, which will be met by some e4 at some point.
Very nice by Daniel here.
This is kind of strategically obligatory. The only problem black is facing that if he goes e4, gf and damages the pawn structure with bishop takes c3, then his own king will be left alone. So he cannot really depart from this bishop.
So queen f6 and gf. He wants to put the knight from c to e4, I guess.
Yeah, or king a2 first.
Okay.
But okay, black also has his own play, yeah? Let's not underestimate the King's Indian.
Absolutely.
You are a King's Indian player, no?
Yeah, I've been a King's Indian player, but I always found that these particular structures, when white can land on e4, and there's no clear breakthrough on the queen side, are particularly troublesome. But queen c2, Magnus Carlsen, finding a resource as he so often does.
Yeah, he threatens knight d3, so one wonders if rook c1 would be a very natural move. Then
and then he wants to go queen d3. This is what he wants.
Then black goes queen d3.
And now, so you can take and go rook cg1, but it's with the queens off, you know, suddenly position, this has happened. King h8, I guess, will come at some point. Maybe he doesn't have to do it immediately, but no, white should still be a bit better here, right?
Yeah, white should be a bit better. Actually, what is surprising for me in this tournament and something different than I usually see when I comment Magnus in the Blitz games, that Magnus is almost always behind on the clock. This I very rarely see from him. I mean, here he's clearly behind on the clock in a lot of games.
Very interesting.
Okay, g1. Okay, here of course white's play is also so much easier, yeah.
Of course. Rook hg1.
But now Daniel taking time for this move, it means that is there something special here? Yeah, finally rook g1 played.
Magnus down to under a minute. A nice time advantage here for Dubov.
Yeah, I just could not understand why Daniel spent like 20 seconds on rook g1. So far in this game, he made so many difficult decisions a tempo that one had the feeling that he will continue in the same spirit. And Magnus in trouble, not just clockwise.
Magnus feeling a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Bishop f6. Okay. This is his moment. Daniel, he's got the position.
Yeah, because even you can consider I wanted to give an argument that maybe you can even take on c5 first and then change the knight and stay with knight versus the bishop. But he opts for knight d4. Maybe he wants to claim that this knight on d3 is anyway kind of trapped, so he can change it at any moment.
And also this a4 pawn is going to be very weak in a lot of endgames. So if, you know, all the rooks come off, some timely knight c3 will actually pick off this pawn. It's very important.
When Magnus down to 10 seconds, yeah,
unbelievable. Knight f4. He's gonna. He's losing a bit of steam here, Magnus. Does he?
Yeah, but this is exactly the scenario I wanted to avoid. I did not want to let this knight come to f4, because if I exchange it, then after ef you open up the bishop, and if I don't take this knight, then it's not so easy. This knight on f4 is disturbing.
Agreed.
So Magnus may be alive.
And Dubov having a think now. I think this is a good time for Daniel to have a think. This is the right moment to invest.
Yeah, but you have to watch out not to blunder knight e2 fork, because it's typical that you delve into the position with all the finesses. How am I going to torture my opponent? What are the strategical finesses? And then you blunder something at once.
Goodness. And
Daniel taking his time.
Really taking his time. 25 seconds, Daniel Dubov. He takes it. Rook g4. Rook f8.
A tempo.
Tempo. Just go h4. Just king b1 is good. You can move quickly here, Daniel. Yes, you know you can move quickly.
Yeah, rook g2, king d3.
King d3, just rook g2.
In fact, you know, after bishop e7, there is the idea king c3, king b4.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Magnus doesn't want to give it, but he gives the g6 square.
Rook back, probably, or rook e6. And the other rook in. No, knight c3. Ah, he's claiming now that this rook and pawn, because he dominates the files. This is winning. Rook g7, rook e7. Has to be winning. Has to be winning. Magnus Carlsen on the ropes. Rook c7, big problems. Magnus Carlsen.
But rook e8
coming. Rook c6.
Some hope.
Rook d7. All right, king d4. We take everything. We have king e4. King e4 there might have been very strong. We take it all. Ooh, good move. Forcing the king away. Oof. Now it gets tricky. Check d6.
Yeah, but it should be winning. Yeah, for white.
Should be winning.
No, it's just winning. Yeah, king c6 and. That's it.
That's it.
Incredible. Very nice play by Daniel Dubov, yeah?
Huge.
Yeah.
That's it. Magnus Carlsen defeated by the young pretender, Daniel Dubov. Absolutely spectacular performance by Daniel. And with that win, he leapfrogs Magnus Carlsen. And wow, what a game, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also the conversion, because often you have the good position, but time is ticking down and you start to be hesitant. But he had like a clear plan. He had the flow. He followed that flow. And yeah, it was very impressive the way, because we all know that you just give a little bit of chance for Magnus to jump, and he will jump at you and escape by a miracle. But Daniel didn't give him this chance.
Daniel is extremely strong blitz. Goodness me, what a result. What a game. And also, Le Quang has beaten Grischuk.
Wow.
Grischuk, yeah. Le Quang has beaten Grischuk there. And something happened there. Grischuk not quite with it. And Boujangi, Peter Svidler, was a draw. So... amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So much.
I need a little break. Let me come back in 1 minute.
Go for it. No, take it.
This was incredible. I mean, kudos to Daniel Dubov. Fantastic technical victory over Magnus. Yeah, be right back.
Okay, amazing. Daniel Dubov shaking things up. That's why he's in this tournament, ladies and gentlemen. A worthy addition, as you can see, at the top of the leaderboard, 6.5 points out of 9. Magnus Carlsen on 6. Mamedyarov on 5, along with Le Quang Liam. Svidler on 50%, 4.5. Zhong and Bujanji on 4 apiece. Alexander Grischuk on 3.5. And David Anton on 2.5. Next round, let's get the pairings up. We've got Zhong against Anton. We've got Korobov against Grischuk. We've got Mamedyarov against Bu, Le Quang against Dubov, and Svidler Carlsen. I think I know where we will be going. Svidler Carlsen, huge game, of course. A lot of history now between these two guys. They're very good friends, first and foremost. Peter Svidler has been very much, he's played a pivotal role in Magnus Carlsen's career, in the sense that if we recall the 2013 candidates, Svidler actually beat Magnus Carlsen in that critical last round. It was the last round, right? And it was at one moment looking very ominous for Magnus to qualify from the candidates to play Vichy Anand. And then all of a sudden, the gods very much answered Magnus's prayers when Vasily Ivanchuk defeated Vladimir Kramnik with the white pieces in order for Magnus to go through. And the rest is history, as they say. Magnus Carlsen then becoming world champion later that year. But Peter Svidler gave us quite the sweat in 2013. Peter, a phenomenal player, as we've seen. The way he can calculate, everybody who's been watching the Chess24 streams as well, for me, he's one of the most impressive guys out there. It's the speed of calculation, the knowledge. He's phenomenal in all formats. And, with this there's a little rivalry here. There's a lot of needling. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that perhaps a lot of you guys don't know about. They're very, very competitive. And Peter, he's been trolled by Magnus in the last couple of games, with Magnus playing this reversed Sicilian and with this H5 nonsense. And Peter has been, he'll laugh about it and he'll joke about it, but he doesn't like to be taken for a fool. And I expect Peter to be gunning here for Carlsen. And let's also look at the situation. If Peter manages to win this game, Magnus actually loses this game, and we get, somehow something like a Dubov win. I mean, Dubov playing black against Le Quang, very possible. Certainly Magnus could be well adrift of the field. So it's going to be an absolutely riveting occasion. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, as well, to make sure you get yourselves over to Chessable today. We've got the big offer on, and an hour of coaching world champion himself. If you go there and follow the instructions on the screen, you will actually see that offer. And I believe Peter is back with us.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, brilliant.
So I heard that we will see another Svidler Carlsen game, yeah?
We will, and of course, that's the game we're going to be going to. That's in the second batch, though, of course. We need to stick with the first batch. First batch is Zhong against David Anton, and we're basically going to go there straight away. So this is round number 10. Zhong, Anton, Jeffrey with the white pieces, and yeah, you have to feel that Jeffrey is big favorite, but maybe David Anton is due a win. Maybe he's due a win for this. But Svidler Carlsen, what do we think, Peter? How do you see that match going?
Well, I mean, I think it's fairly equal. I don't think that anyone is anyone is a favorite here. I see also a little bit the point that, yeah, maybe Anton was suffering against the absolute top guys, but maybe he also wants to prove that, okay, Jeffrey is extremely strong, very dangerous and so on, but after all, he will not be able to outclass him as maybe the top guys, yeah?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed. Okay, which game do you want to go to first here then? Should we see Korobov Grischuk?
Yeah. I mean, also not just because of the names, but looking at the position, it looks like the Korobov Grischuk is screaming for blood, while the other one is quite a positional struggle.
Yeah, so knight a4. Okay, so we've got, again, we're seeing a lot of these Queen's Gambit accepted positions here.
Yeah, it's a very difficult position to evaluate, because on one side Black gets this very nice d5 square, but that's all he got, and White has space advantage. So like 20 years ago, I would have learned that this should be fine for Black, but then with more experience, you already see that no, this is far not so simple that this d5 square is enough. White has the pair of bishops as well, and you never want to take on e3, because then with f takes e3 you would actually take away from yourself the d5 square for the future. So yeah, the question is how to, I mean, is queen c6 a move or not? Black would like to change queens, yeah?
That's the sort of move I'm not able to play. It's against my religion.
Yeah, well, queen c6 runs into queen a3, and you can ask the question, where is this queen from c6 gonna go? Yeah, so Sasha goes h5. It's also a clear indication that, yeah, Black doesn't have a clear plan. One of the ideas is that bishop g5 can be met by f6. So if you control the d5 square, then you also control this f6 square. So White goes knight c3. c6. Wow, this is somewhat surprising. Yeah, if something lands on d6, then it's game over. But Grischuk says, my friend, how are you going to use that?
Feels absolutely horrible, this move, I have to say. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, now bishop g5, he has to go f6. Yeah, good or bad, he has to.
Goodness me, this looks shakier than a Newcastle defense.
Which I even don't know what you're talking about, but it already sounds funny enough, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, some shaky defenses around. Shakier than a Bills advantage. What we got? Rook d7. I mean, this is awful for Black. Knight a4. I love it. Remove the queen, put the knight on c5. This is dreadful for Grischuk.
Yeah, but be careful to judge. If f6, bishop f6, that's the trick. Wow.
Wow, what a miss by Grischuk.
This is your territory.
This is it. Brilliant spot. Rook g8. Okay, not over. Bishop e5 check. King a8. And now...
Yeah. But now also this black king on a8 is in some mating net. Yeah, always with knight b6 check.
Queen a3, just queen a3. And yeah, there's going to be some rook c5 and remove everything on d5 and then knight b6 mate. Know your patterns, guys. Yeah. Know your patterns. Know your patterns. This just looks completely hopeless. Completely hopeless.
Yeah, where is the counterplay? And okay,
nothing.
You have to go h4.
So how do we do this? How do we do this? Maybe it's not so easy.
Yeah, it's not so easy. I mean, you have to disbalance this knight from d5 somehow, but rook c5 played, queen d8.
Yeah.
Taking control of the b6 square. I mean, after all, White's problem is that all his pieces are aiming for this checkmate. And if you cannot really deliver this checkmate, then you might get carried away with all those pieces.
Yeah, this is where you can invest some time and actually at some moment be, you know, this game could turn very quickly here actually.
Yeah, and also now look at this. The bishop on e5 is kind of trapped, yeah, with h4. So black can always have some knight g6 ideas eliminating this bishop, and then already this whole knight b6 checkmating motive will be disappearing, and you will have some chance of rook dg7 doubling. Wow, b5.
What?
Are you kidding me? Knight c3, you're gonna fork me with b4?
Oh my
incredible
goodness. Is that it? Is that winning?
No, I mean, I can give the exchange on d5, but
okay, but that's shocking. That's absolutely shocking to me.
Wow.
What an unbelievable resource, Alexander Grischuk. Okay,
this is chess. This is chess.
This is chess. This is chess.
Chess is crazy.
This is not Tiddlywinks. If you want the Tiddlywinks channel, ladies and gentlemen, go elsewhere. This is chess. This is a real sport. Okay?
This is business here.
This is business time. Absolutely. Wow.
And how there are all this rook takes e5 is also so tempting. Yeah, I mean, rook e5, d5, queen d5.
Almost works, yeah?
Yeah, it could work. I mean,
maybe it does work. Maybe it's just working. Maybe.
And Grischuk down to 10 seconds. Wow, this is dramatic. And rook d4 played.
d4, what is this?
Yeah, I saw the rook e5 was more
queen
to
a6?
The point.
Wait, queen a6? I'm threatening mate. Queen a6? What is this?
Wow.
6, bishop take, queen a6
yeah.
play. He's bungled it. He's completely.
No, not queen
I can't believe it. On total meltdown, Alexander Grischuk.
Yeah. Incredible. I mean, again the time, yeah.
Look at this. You've not seen out like it, I tell you.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
I mean, this rook takes d4 because the same idea with rook e5, but it was forcing. Then the opponent has no time for any intermediate move, yeah?
Yeah, rook e5. So this is a huge blunder. Rook takes d4, monumental blunder by Alexander Grischuk. Had to take this way, and then queen d5, and the point is queen a6 now drops the knight to...
No, and also it's checkmate on g2.
And it's mate even. Let's do that. Yeah, it's mate even. So you can't do anything. You have to protect against this mate. D3,
and you can only protect with some very ugly move like f3.
But and now some h3 is coming.
Yeah, you have bishop h3. I don't know. I mean, it looks very scary for white.
Yeah, bishop h3 looks, because there's some queen d1. I mean, no. Alexander Grischuk just not at the races somehow today, Peter. What's wrong? Is he just tired? Is he just any explanation?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, okay, playing this 3 days in Charity Russia and even winning it, you know, this is one of the most trickiest part, that you win it and then you are kind of satisfied. And next day you have to start a completely new fight where nobody cares about that you have won this tournament just the day before. Mm-hmm. And you have already burned so much of your reserves. So that was my theory. But once I heard that Sasha is even playing in the night, right after this blitz, something else, I mean, I thought that's insane. Doesn't matter who you are, how strong you are, how great you are, you just can't do this to yourself. That's my judgment, but I don't know. Right. Maybe, I mean, with more games, if you ask Sasha, maybe we'll say, yeah, I should have played more. Yeah, I don't know. But to me, it looks insane, of course. I mean, just playing so much, and we see that in all these blitz games, just for one fraction of a second, you miss your focus, and that's it.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. And, well, we've got 3 more games coming up. Mamedyarov, boo. Lagno, Dubov, massive game. And Svidler, Carlsen will be focusing for sure on those 2 games. About to kick off, Peter, in just a few minutes. In the other game, Jean, David Anton, looked like a relatively quiet affair, actually, in Queen's Gambit, except so many of these Queen's Gambit accepted, by the way, so far, and one of these very dull Not dull for you, dull for me, because I have no chess culture. This is a very intricate battle, of course, but in Blitz, it's very difficult to be super precise in such positions and set your opponent serious problems unless you're Magnus Carlsen, seemingly, or somebody of that ilk. Jeffrey Zhong just not able to set David Anton the problems, and it was a relatively easy hold for David Anton. So Mamedyarov Boo. Boo has looked very shaky today. He has lost against Magnus, lost against Lequang, drew with white against Svidler. Actually, I think this is a good moment for Shaq. He's on 5 out of 9. He's still in touching distance. I think Shaq has got a legitimate chance here. What do you think? With the white pieces, Boo not playing so well, if he wins, he's not that far behind.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the other hand, this is also a good chance for Boo, because probably Mamedyarov will take a lot of risk in order to try to win this game. And especially when things are not going that well for you, it's sometimes not so bad to be in such a position that you just want to stabilize, yeah? And if Boo could get a position where he can play automatically and all his moves are stabilizing moves, and Shakria is the one who has to create something and go after him, taking more and more risk, also Boo can benefit from that situation. So in this sense, I think it's going to be a very interesting game.
Absolutely. Svidler Carlsen, Peter, do you think we're going to get another troll attempt by Magnus, or do you think he's going to play something more mainstream?
I mean, in trolling, you mean that maybe will we see the Rossolimo with h5 again appearing on the board, like in the first game? No, I don't think so. It would be also too rude. I mean, it would be already too rude. I think Magnus trolled way too much Peter, and Peter doesn't deserve this kind of disrespect.
Let me ask you a question. Sorry to interrupt, but I've got a curious question. I know a lot of the people watching, because we live in a generation now where trolling and trolls exist in substantial numbers, and it's kind of part of culture, modern culture. How would such a way of playing being viewed when you were growing up, let's say, as a prominent player in the late 80s, 90s? I mean, imagine the likes of Korchnoi and Kasparov and Karpov, and somebody plays this against one of those guys. What would have the consequences been? Do you think it would have actually severely harmed the career of some of these guys if they would have played like that?
No, okay, harm maybe too much, but definitely you would have gotten a lot of criticism. I do remember very well that I had a game against Nigel Short in Sarajevo 99, when after e4 c6, knight c3 d5, Nigel went d3. And at that moment, Kasparov just passed by our board, and he was behind Nigel, so Nigel couldn't see Kasparov, but I saw Gary, and Gary looked at me with such a grimace, like, okay, go out to the park and continue there. You have nothing to do on the stage, and it influenced my choice. And after move 6 or 7, I was already totally busted, just because Gary's grimace. It's, I mean, you couldn't really fool around when Gary was there.
Yeah, his stare alone could kill, couldn't it? The Gary Kasparov stare. I guess the biggest troll attempt in history in a real game, let's call it a troll. It wasn't seen as a troll attempt, and of course was Tony Miles playing 1a6 against Karpov in that famous game where he actually beat Karpov with the black pieces playing 1a6. I can't remember the year. Do you, Peter? Is it 80?
Yeah, it was somewhere like this, yeah. But look at this, the game started, and
let's see
trolling.
The game.
No trolling. Magnus means business. He has just lost the game to Daniel Dubov. He says, no, I don't want to continue in that spirit. I want to play something where I feel myself familiar with and I feel myself well. Classical Spanish. by Magnus.
Did I miss something? What's happening?
Well, we were just discussing how Magnus has been trolling Peter. Obviously, the past few games have been well documented on social media, and how this would have been received in the chess community in the 80s and 90s with the Korchnoi and Kasparovs around. And I actually
felt like a lot of fake outrage. They're on good terms. Svidler and Nagy, let them have some fun. Round one.
No, of course it's fake outrage, and they're on great terms, and they're good friends. But what I'm saying is, can you imagine two contemporaries of that time doing something similar? And I can't. I think.
Come on, Korchnoi, he trolled whenever he could. No, maybe in a different way.
It was in a different way.
There was a lot of stuff happening then.
Yeah, basically, I also had the feeling that if already you start tweeting and you announce c3, c4 against somebody, it means that you know this person very well, and you know that he will not take it personal. Exactly. But if you do it to someone who you don't know, then it's rude.
What's going on here? This is a slow Spanish/Italian. All these positions are very, very similar. They're both experts on the structure with either color.
Yeah, this was also Firuza Magnus Carlsen in Vaikanze.
Is this also the prestigious game Lagno Gustafsson?
Exactly. I did not want to mention it because
okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, you bought it, then you bought it up. I can mention as well. Yeah.
Now they're transposing to
Zaitsev.
Zaitsev, as I should have done. Why does many moves? No, a3, d5. Mainly those. Let's see what Peter chooses. Knight f1, you run into ed, knight b4. I think that line also exists, but it's not supposed to be correct, right?
But I mean, it's not yet a clear Zaitsev because white's pawn is not on h3.
He goes a4.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because the point is that white gained the tempo by not playing bishop b3. He went bishop c2 immediately.
Ah, you're right, of course, yeah. But now after a4, ed, cd, knight b4, you're not afraid? Oh, Magnus doesn't care. He just goes Breyer style.
Yeah,
no, white is a bit better.
Yeah, he goes for his setup, but this is slightly worse.
I'm not overwhelmed by Magnus's choice here, actually. I think these kind of positions Peter's very happy with in a blitz game because his moves are quite natural, and you're a little bit passive here as Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, in these positions, you can make an argument that it's nice that black did not play h6 because you anyway want to go g6, bishop g7 later. So a lot of finesses in the
That's
position.
not fun, no? Kayakin had some nice games in these positions in like the 7-8 years ago. Black was always struggling here. There's knight h5, knight f4, sometimes knight e6, typical maneuver. But I never liked this with black. c4 is an idea.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
Yeah, it's a classical position where Peter should feel himself quite familiar and he should enjoy.
Yeah. Sometimes b4, knight b3 is coming. I'm curious how Peter will play this actually. Yeah, there goes b4.
b4, 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 or?
Yeah, I mean, okay, now black can play knight b6, trying to ask. Yeah, knight b6 played.
You have to before c4 is coming.
Yeah.
a5, do you go knight a4 or do you go back?
Good question, but usually also white is not so happy pushing a5.
But here I would be. If you go back, a5, c4, I'm happy. But knight a4, I'm not sure about.
Yeah. But before playing a5, you have to reckon with both. So
he does take. That's the solid choice. But now cb, the black pieces wake up. Magnus is a cb type in these positions, unless d5 is too strong.
d5 is a problem, actually.
Yeah, no, he will take ab.
Yeah, there
no,
you go.
he takes
CB type.
Because d5, knight d4, yeah, that's his point, or what?
Must be.
Okay.
Yeah,
and c4, isn't he still worse?
Much worse. Why isn't he just much worse? Have the wheels come off, ladies and gentlemen?
Much worse, Carlsen?
Yeah, and after c4,
that's not going to stick,
for his problems, he must have missed this c4 move.
Probably he did not like any of the options, and this looked the murkiest. But his bishop on b7 is so bad. It's a tough position to play. I guess you go bc and you hope for knight c4, rook c8 in some play, even though I don't.
Yeah, but
see
bc you take on d4. That's the problem.
Exactly, exactly.
And the structure is damaged. Magnus doesn't like damaged structures. Who likes? But he's in serious trouble now.
Rook ac8. Okay. So
yeah, so it means after bishop d4 he wants to take with the knight on c4 at least. Get rid of this bad knight on b6.
And then rook ac1 at the end. I don't see.
Yeah, okay, you give up the pawn. I mean, don't care.
Okay.
But I'm not sure that with white I'm interested. I just want to dominate, yeah?
Yeah.
So f5 has to be played.
Oof. Could make it worse though. Bishop h3, maybe we just win.
Yeah, but you have to, and the players are down to 30 seconds each, so you have to mess things up.
He goes fe. No, I'm not sure if Peter takes. It's not his style. Ah, but he does take.
Queen e4.
Looks quite winning though. Yeah.
It looks just.
Queen e6, bishop d5 is the last hope, but.
Queen g4, clever. Queen d5.
What?
Still queen e6, but I'm not sure this was his intention.
Yeah, that endgame is not clear at all.
No, it's not.
Even though I still think you take white. The pawns aren't going anywhere. We are an exchange up. It's probably so close to winning, actually.
No, really? I think Magnus is back in business. No, I don't think black is any real divorce here.
Wow.
D5.
I mean, white is enjoying, but okay, it's in Blitz. I don't really believe that this is so simple.
I think it's huge. Bishop c6, I like trying to gain some stability still. White is so solid.
Yeah, and black's king is in trouble. This is the problem. Yeah, d5 is met by check and rook e6. Yeah, rook c8. Rook f4. Yeah, this is... Black simply cannot create any counterplay. Yeah?
No, the pawns aren't moving, and yeah, now I guess
H5.
you can think about bishop g7, but that could be a little scary, letting these pawns free. So I like h5, just improving his position.
Yeah.
He's FIDE. Rook g6, bishop f8. Rook b8, I guess. Rook b8, I guess.
No, then d4. You have to watch out.
d4 was hanging.
Now bishop takes b4.
What is this?
Yeah.
Oh,
Magnus,
Rook
Magnus
takes
back
h6.
in business.
Rook h6.
Oh wow! It's a repeat of his rook takes h6 in the World Championships against Karyakin. Oh wow!
Yeah.
What a finish by Peter Svidler. Congratulations.
Yeah, brilliant finish. Yeah.
Absolutely sublime.
Oof.
We have got a tournament.
Magnus lost 2 in a row?
Yeah,
Lost
2
two
games
in a row.
black, yeah.
The wheels are off.
The wheels and the gloves. What a game, but yeah. He got a bad position off the opening, and then even for the world champion, it's not that simple to mix it too much. No, like was trouble all along, and here going f5, allowing this bishop h3 was already very desperate measure. No, nice game by Peter. Of course, in the end, Magnus being Magnus, put up a great fight. But what a finish.
Unbelievable.
Oof.
He needed to go f4?
Yeah, he did it to cover the g5 square,
Yeah,
but that's the problem for Magnus, that he even cannot stop rook h6. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Because rook d6 runs into rook g7 mate.
By the way, Dubov did hold against Le Quang, meaning Daniel Dubov is a full point clear after 10 rounds. You love to see it. You love to see it. What a tournament we have. Next round, Svidler Zhong, Carlsen Lequan, Dubov Mamedyarov, Bu against Korobov, and Grischuk against Anton. Drama.
That was a big one. Yeah.
Action.
Let me see the standings. Sorry, I've been out of the loop for a bit. So Dubov is 1 point ahead of everybody else. And he's already proven he can win these big tournaments. In 2018, the Rapid World Champion. He has a lot of experience, of course, playing Magnus and Blitz. And he only has to be set for a clear lead, has 7 out of 10. Then 6 out of 10 still good enough for second place. Whoa. Carlsen Mamedyarov in shared second, Lequan and FIDE on plus scores as well. Grischuk and Anton Guijarro at the bottom of the table. Exciting stuff. You guys got this? Lawrence, are you sticking around?
Of course I'm sticking around.
Then I'll say goodnight to everybody. Thank you so much for running the show. I'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the party.
All right. Thank you, Jan.
Thanks
Have a
very
good
much,
rest.
Jan. Okay. Wow. What a round, Peter Leko. I said it, didn't I? I said, Magnus, you know, this is actually it's his worst pairing, I think, after that loss. To play black against Svidler, Peter, just very difficult to get the kind of position you want against Peter as well. He won't allow it. And I felt like it was a bad opening choice by Magnus, I have to say, allowing Peter to have this classical Spanish where he knows all the ideas. Magnus got back into it as he always does, but it was a blinding effort by Peter. And now the tournament. Goodness. Daniel Dubov just maintaining his momentum, Peter. I said I found him extremely impressive. He's not let us down today. And now he's got white against Mamedyarov. He'll be looking at this game as a real opportunity. But Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, remember what I said about him last round? I said, if he manages to win, he's back in it. He beats Bu Zhangji. He is now sharing equal second with Magnus Carlsen. Mamedyarov back in the mix as well. Whew. What can we say? Tons of excitement. And
the excitement will keep on growing somehow.
Yeah, we've got a full 2 more rounds. The games will be kicking off in about a minute's time. And yeah, it's just wonderful to see the drama. Remember, guys, make yourselves premium members as well. You want to see this action, you want to see these huge prizes, you want to see the world champion, and you want to see all the best players in the world duke it out. Yeah, we need your help. Please support the cause, become a premium member. And your support makes these tournaments happen. It's as simple as that. Without your support, can't make it happen. So you know what to do. Get yourselves to chess24.com/premium. Get yourselves a premium membership. It's not just supporting the tournament. You get all of the other things, hundreds of hours of videos, training tools to become a better player. And of course, you might even have the opportunity to play Magnus Carlsen, Anish Giri, Jan Gustafsson, Peter Svidler in a Blitz match yourselves when we have our regular Banter Blitz sessions. So make sure you go and do that. Next round. What do we say? Should we do the predictions? What else have we got to do? Right, Peter?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
Okay, Svidler Zhong. I think Peter riding high after that. I like Svidler in that one. Carlsen Lequan. You know what? Draw.
Really, yeah?
Draw. Lequan, steady as an ox.
And the games had started. We have 4 knights, and Magnus goes for a little bit of trolling with h3.
Well, it's not quite trolling. It's actually a serious idea. We discussed it, actually, Magnus and I. this idea is, the point is that after d5 now, which would be a reversed Scotch opening, this move h3 actually performs a very important function. Of course, it's not super critical, but it does have an idea. And now we have this kind of stuff, and we have a random position. Svidler, we have a hedgehog of sorts. And Magnus trying to mix it up. Right from the off.
So this is all your idea, yeah?
Not my idea. Nothing to do.
Magnus just borrowed from you, yeah?
Well, no, he didn't borrow from me, but we talked about it briefly. But he said h3 has been, he's looked at it. But I'm not overwhelmed by this. This is just a position, d5. Why isn't black completely fine here? Queen c2.
Okay, Magnus is claiming that in long terms he will have the pair of bishops. The question is, if black would get his knight from c6 to g6 and then be able to play c7, c5 and take control of the center, then black would be very comfortable. But if the knight is stuck on c6, and since the pawn on e5 is hanging, it's not so easy to get this knight 7, knight g6, then I see some justification in Magnus' play that, okay, then I have two bishops and I will play a long game.
Okay, looks fairly reasonable here for Wilhelm so far. No big deal. So we'll wait for Magnus.
Yeah, now the question is how to mix things up. Yeah, he goes bishop e3. His pawn on e4 is hanging. This is a little bit the...
Just go rook e8, number one, to not allow any bishop c5s and protect e5. Just go rook e8 or queen d7, I guess is fine. Rook fd1, rook fd8, okay. A4.
And a4. Magnus uses the chance, that now the e4.
But is there some knight d4 at the end or what?
What kind of knight d4?
So we take everything and go knight d4?
Wow. You are in fire. You are on fire, yeah?
Well,
but maybe b5.
This is his idea. Obviously, I know that, but actually,
but you are on fire anyway.
Thank you, Peter. But you have to go knight a5, and at least b5 is hanging. So knight a5, queen takes a4, but then we have some issues there. No, this is problematic. Le Quang now also a minute down on the clock. I don't like it. Knight e7.
Yeah, I think this is his biggest problem, that he is low on time.
But knight e7 is of course much better than knight a5, because now after queen a4 we have knight g6. I mean after rook a4 we have knight. Oh no, wait, no, I'm just going nuts.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Of course, I thought I was still imagining the knight on a5 where we could go queen a4, but queen a4 actually blunders a queen, so it's probably not good.
Yeah, how to treat this position? It's very interesting because there is even the idea of playing c3, c4. It's kind of a surprising move, but just to stabilize the structure and force you to decide on d4 or d4.
I wouldn't have even guessed that move, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't even guess that move.
Yeah, but I mean, the question is otherwise, if after knight takes e5, queen b5, where does this mess leads? But since it was not so clear, I had this feeling that maybe c4 is a nice alternative.
Magnus in the tank, thinking for over a minute, it feels like. What is he doing? He's snake bit. He's snake bit. He's lost two in a row. He's lost his confidence momentarily. Rook a4 on the board, but this didn't look that challenging now for black. Surely we can, if we take knight g6, what's the, he takes on b5.
He takes on b5, yeah, this was also possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Rook b4.
Very strange, yeah? I mean, let's not forget that black will have some rook a2. He was queen a6. But even after queen e8, then there was this rook a2 idea later on.
95. So if we take on e4, take rook d1, bishop. Why don't we just take everything, liquidate the center? Leave white.
Okay, but then white will also stabilize, yeah?
Yes.
Usually this is the typical position. It would be nice to have time to think. Very difficult to judge and very difficult to rely on feeling because it requires very precise calculation. So they take. Now also, should you take with the queen? Yeah, Magnus takes with the queen.
But now queen a1 and c3 is hanging, no?
Yeah, queen a1 played, but now also white has lot of choice. Yeah, rook b1, queen takes c3, then also some bishop d4 tempo, getting some initiative.
Maybe you shouldn't take on c3. Maybe you should just. But where to put this queen? There's no.
And now Lagno is down to 18 seconds. This is getting dramatic.
Queen a3.
18 seconds for this complex position, it's just way too little.
Yeah, he had a chance there, Lagno, too. 20 seconds for Magnus. What's going on? We're going to be in queen d4. What's he going to b6? Natural moves.
Yeah, now at least black stabilizes, yeah?
Exactly. Who's better than what? F3.
Magnus also stabilizing.
Queen
Queen
a2,
a2, queen d1.
Difficult to find a move. Queen a5, any old iron.
Yeah, it's a double attack, so white has to be careful.
Queen back to d4 and repeat. Queen a2 and repeat. Yes, queen a2, queen d3. Magnus doesn't want the draw, of course. Now what? Knight d7 doesn't hang. Bishop back to e6, I assume. Yes. Knight g6, f4.
Now Magnus is in control, it seems.
Bishop b3, yes. Queen a1. What is going on?
Yeah, very tricky with all these
4 seconds, Magnus Carlsen, king h2. Bishop c4.
Wow.
The wheels are off. Magnus Carlsen.
But who knows who will profit from it? Because the two bishops are very dangerous in this position.
He wants the ending and with f5. No, he doesn't. Magnus Carlsen, meltdown potentially. Is he going to find a way like he does? Stays in the game. An amazing bullet play. Queen e8, great move. Knight c6, excellent.
Look at white's bishops, yeah? They are extremely strong.
Rook c3 will be played. King h8. No, rook c3 impossible. Queen d4, f6, stabilizing. c4. Who knows who's better and why?
Yeah.
Bishop fe5. Playing on increment, these guys. Queen g5, excellent. Probably draw. Probably draw. Yeah, going to be a draw. Well, or is...
I mean, Magnus is g5, king
no,
g4.
g5, good.
But f6, f7.
Who is... No, this is... Bishop e6. C4.
Very complex endgame, yeah?
Who is winning? Carlsen winning.
I mean, I'm not sure what... Yeah, now after king g6, bishop e6 winning, yeah.
Yeah, bishop e6 over now. c7. Yeah, over. Magnus.
Wow.
The wheels not off yet. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also what Lagno was doing, it was very impressive. But finally, Magnus got the position that he was totally safe and he could press. That's exactly what you need with all these few seconds on the clock.
Goodness me. He won this position. All right, Magnus Carlsen, big win, massive win for him, huge, given the situation. He catches Dubov. Now, Dubov with white against Mamedyarov. If Dubov wins this, it's huge. He keeps the point distance. Now, Magnus hoping Shakhriyar turns up does the business. If Shakhriyar wins, we will get a 4-way tie for first. Mamedyarov, Carlsen, Dubov. And Mamedyarov, Carlsen, Dubov. No, we'll get a 3-way. I beg your pardon. 3-way tie for first. Svidler will be just behind them on 6.5, regardless. Svidler wins a game. I didn't see this game. It looked as though Jeffrey had a good position. Some point around here, looked as though Black is doing more than fine.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like Black is in the driver's seat, yeah?
So what happened? Looks as though Black has no problems. Peter. Okay. Oof. Brutal thematic. Knight takes e6. And the point is, if f takes e6, rook d7 is just going to win the game. So king g8 and check. And rook d7. Peter Svidler not missing a beat. And that's it. Rook takes f7 is just going to win. Huge, huge for Peter Svidler there against Jeffrey Zhang. And we're going to be seeing Dubov, Mamedyarov. That has to be the game we go to next, Peter. It's just massive for the tournament. What do you think? Dubov with the white pieces, he's favorite at the moment, no? Would you say?
Well, I mean, okay, but of course, everything goes his way right now. The tournament is long, and I wonder how much he thinks about the tournament standing, or maybe he's just enjoying that he has the flow and he doesn't even care who is chasing him, just enjoys himself winning game after game. We will see if he will already start to feel the pressure or he can just play a normal game.
Absolutely.
Because we, as you already mentioned, we know that this game is very, very important for the tournament situation, but probably the best strategy for Daniel just to forget about this.
Absolutely agree. All right, Dubov, Mamedyarov, the pieces are set up. The PGN is ready. And they're saying rook d7 didn't win because of the phenomenal rook takes g3 check. Are you having a laugh?
Really, yeah?
So
because queen takes b3. Okay, yeah, this is...
And queen e6, and who's better and why? I would take Black here all day. King safety.
But